Hello, witches. Did you hear we're hosting a magical marketplace? Join us on Saturday, October 18th at the beautiful Sunshine Prophecy in Oakland, California for a day of celebrating our witchcraft. We'll have vendors selling their magical wares, we will have practitioners offering their services, and we will have space for the community to enjoy each other. After the marketplace, I, Casey Zabala, will be hosting a tarot workshop on the cards of 2025 and 2026, the Hermit and the Wheel of Fortune. So join us on October 18th, just before the Samhain portal, for a day of celebration, a day of magical connection, and space to celebrate this beautiful community. See you there. Find the link to RSVP to this free event in our show notes. Dear witches, staying up to date with the moon? Seeking a little reminders to re-enchant your world? Subscribe to the Modern Witches newsletter for lunar love notes and magical inspirations delivered right to your inbox. Modern Witches is shape-shifting, yet it will always be a project that centers our mystical community members. Do you have a course or a podcast you'd like to promote to magical babes? Want to share your art with the folks who might be most touched by its spiritual themes? Send us an email at info@witchesconfluence.org to have your work promoted on our newsletter. Subscribe to Modern Witches newsletter in the link in show notes. Hello, witches. Welcome back to the Modern Witches podcast. I am Casey, and I'm here with Mariana and Karima.
Hi,
Hello.
guys.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Casey. Hi, everyone.
This is this is Libra season.
We are in Virgo season, though. You got that right.
We're recording in Virgo season, but we are here to talk about the second half of Libra season from October 6th all the way to October 22nd. And yeah, it's been a doozy. I mean, for those of you who listened to our part 1 episode, there's a lot of intensity and kind of not a lot of transits that we spoke about. And just hoping that everything's been percolating okay for you all out there. Hoping that you're, staying active and engaged.
And informed.
Which is a good place to begin, as we'll kind of start these transits on October 6th when Mercury enters Scorpio.
And joining the party with Mars.
Share my screen.
I mean, I feel like having the passion, the driven, like what move you forward with the thinking and communication can be very good when they align in the same sign. Like even if communication can become kind of intense, it is direct. It is more fighting. Someone that wants to get to the point. Like I said, the superficiality is kind of like push aside, and now we want to get to the core of the core. And so that can help with debating, with having our thinking and clarity like straightforward, desire or goals. And our emotional depth. It can be great for our personal life and communicating with ourselves about our emotional depth and our deepest desire. I love when we have Mercury in Scorpio, because that is a moment when I practice ritual that are very introspective, because there is a deeper truth that I want to discover about me, and I'm like just digging deeper and pushing away like kind of like the BS, and the stories that I tell myself. So I like it. And Mars, having those two is like push you in that direction. So yeah, I do enjoy Mercury entering Scorpio, and he's a little bit spooky,
We're in witchy season. It's
very
true.
witchy.
Mercury in water signs for me is always a good news. I love water Mercury. And for me, because Mercury is a dispositor of the South Node, it's sort of like it kind of like reminds us of something that needs to be done. And whenever there's a planet in Scorpio, for me, Scorpio is the most radical part of the chart. Like, I don't care that people say it's Aquarius. For me, it's Scorpio. For me, the revolutions are brewed in Scorpio. Everything happens in Scorpio. It's like brought into masses maybe with Aquarius, but it is Scorpio that has the most audacity when in my head to do things.
I feel that.
Yeah, I love Scorpio like infinitely. Something about that sign and that archetype. But I have part of fortune there. I guess that's the reason. But Mercury, yeah, it's going and finding, for me, again, one more thing about Scorpio, it's hidden resources. It's digging for the hidden resources within to do something that we need to do. It's
Great
excavating.
research time.
It's great research. It's great kind of like fight the bullshit that's coming at you time. Like you can still trade through all the BS that is being, and it's also dispositor of that Uranus in Gemini, which is a hectic beast, you know. And this Mercury in Scorpio is not gonna let any kind of, we're gonna trick you. It's a good time to be like, and I'm gonna double check here. I will not let anything slide.
Yeah, I think it's really good.
And what is kind of, we have that's in this Libra season, we have kind of that intensity with Scorpio happening because, so we have the same day on October 6th, we have this full moon happening in the sign of Aries at 14 degrees. And this full moon in Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars is governing that full moon, and we have it in Scorpio. You know, so it's like the Scorpio, Mercury entering Scorpio, this full moon. We're going to talk about this Aries Libra axis, of course, but not forgetting that it is ruled by Mars, that is in Scorpio. There's a lot of Scorpio energy, a pre Scorpio. Like, we're not in Scorpio season, it's coming soon, but there's that pre energy that is very present. And for it's like the axis Aries Libra full moon. Um, it is um, it is intense for me because it's always like you versus others, you versus you people versus the other people. It is always a kind of a confrontational about relationship, about your tribe, about you personal versus the other, versus your partner, versus whatever is happening in your chart and the dynamic that is calling. It's sometimes really related to people. And I found that all the time, these two signs and those full moon are very intense about boundaries, about your needs, what the opposite other person needs, what your tribes need, what you like. It's a, and with Mars governing that is very, I feel we will be very driven on speaking the truth, of speaking what we need, of having clear boundaries, of what we feel about situations. And Mercury here is pushing us through our communication. It's like what we feel with Mars inside of us, driving us with passion, and Mercury in Scorpio is like, blah, really making sure that we communicate about it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's interesting to, the progression of things, as Mariana brought up with these Virgo, Pisces eclipses we went through, like really flipping the script around, like, how can you support others and how can you support yourself? I see this and I agree with everything you said, Karima, about kind of this dichotomy between your needs and other people's needs and who gets centered. And I think all of this and everything we're going through collectively is more about finding the right way to effectively honor your needs and show up in relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if centering your needs actually is beneficial for a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
And like, what if letting go of control of your ego or like focusing on your ego is also what's in your highest good? And I think we all exist on a like a polarity with this, based on like our upbringing and our natal chart and all of the alchemy we bring to our lives. But I do see this full moon and I see a real opportunity to find the intersection of like where your own needs and your own expression of your ego is
Mm-hmm.
actually like in alignment with some interrelational like healing or growth, if you
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying. Because I think with the Mars and Mercury both in Scorpio, there's like this need for depth, this need for like bringing our inner experience
Mm-hmm.
out into expression, um, and like
Mhm.
kind of seeing what happens. It might be a mess, it might be intense, um, but I do think rather than like suppressing those things, I do think it's an opportunity to be like really clear and
Mm-hmm.
see how that's met by your community, by your relationships, by all of it.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it's
Sorry,
a
go ahead,
it's a
Mark.
very something about breaking the relational pattern stands out to me in how you see the like kind of what you said, like the role playing,
Mm-hmm.
not
Mm-hmm.
like reversal, but rethinking the role dynamics within your relationship, because the dispositors of the sun and the moon is Mars in Scorpio and Venus in Virgo. So the role of the moon in Aries with the Mars in Scorpio is to lean into intimacy and surrendering. For me, it's
Mm-hmm.
always that. Scorpio is about not trying, like it, for me, being associated with the eighth house, it's not about, it is control and power, but the lesson is the trust. It's learning how to do that, learning how to channel your energy into building intimacy
Mm-hmm.
versus asserting your identity in relationship. Mars and Scorpio and the role of Sun and Libra with Venus and Virgo is not pleasing but being of service, not kind of, it's not approaching the relationship not from, oh, I'm compromising this, or I am like stepping on my like desires here, but like approaching from what that person needs, how my partner can be supported, what does it mean to be of service, not to compromise but to be of service. It's
Mm-hmm.
almost kind of reframing the dynamics for each
Mm-hmm.
of the sun moon
Totally.
axis.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
And
really an interesting full moon. Yeah.
it is, and I cannot stop thinking about like just the next day after. Like, so it's an applying aspect that is happening during the full moon in Aries. We have Mercury that is squaring Pluto. It can mean a lot, but on October 7th is going to be marking the 2 years of the attack that happened in Israel and what unfold, the consequences of this attack would unfold after that. And I think about the full moon as in Mercury squaring Pluto, like Pluto very deep, intense, talking about wounds, want to communicate about it. There is this polarity with Aries and Libra. I see people fight. Like, I think there's going to be a upbringing of different opinion about that time when, I'm going to be bold here, but when people will want to honor people that die on October 7th. And I feel there's a lot of people that are very intensely fighting for the freedom of Palestinian that will probably say, yeah, but what is happening now? What is unfolding of that? And so I can feel already when I see this Mercury square Pluto, this full moon in Aries, this Mercury entering Scorpio right at the
Mm.
beginning,
Yeah.
that kind of fight when it's like we can have time to honor who die on October 7, you
Hmm.
know, and still talking about balance. And it's going to be like, I think, a conflicting aspect in
And
the
it doesn't have to
collective.
be,
And it
right?
doesn't have to be. We can
Which is a
definitely do
great, yeah, I
both.
totally see that. Yeah.
But you can see on a collective level how it's going to be hard to manage, and that the challenge with this square is going to be how we can honor both, how we can talk about both, how we can bring communities together
Hmm.
with, and I think it's going to be a big
Against a
challenge
common evil, right? Like
against a
nobody.
common evil that I do think Israel is very damaging the Jewish community by doing those atrocity. And I just feel like they are also, like, there's something there. I don't want to go too deep into the political sphere and all that, but there is something that is going to be upbringing a lot of conversation, but a lot of debate, and maybe very obsessive or deep, intense communication with this Mercury squaring Pluto, and a
Hmm.
lot of triggering my resurface with that.
Yeah.
Um,
Full moons are triggering,
Full moon is
and they
triggering.
bring all the emotions up to the surface. And I
Exactly.
think
Mhm.
like something that I want to center about full moons in this conversation with all of the political stuff that I think is definitely a trigger point here,
Mm-hmm.
is that, full moons are about release and letting go.
Mhm.
So, like, and that's important for healing, right? Like, we build all this energy and we release it so that we can move on to the next cycle of healing and growth and rebuilding.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I really do think it's an opportunity here to release some energy out into your life, out into the world, like letting go of resentment, letting go of like
Mm-hmm.
toxic hatred, like, and recentering on healing potential, right?
Mhm.
And like the sun is in Libra, like recenter on justice and like what justice means and what justice looks like.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't think it's wild to say, like, over the last 2 years, I don't think more violence equals justice.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the challenge of like Aries full
Yeah.
moon. It's like, it doesn't have to be violent. The release can be something else. And I think what you were saying about Scorpio and the possibility for surrender, like that is a release.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Scorpio is associated with, sorry to be, but things coming literally out of our bodies,
Hmm.
right? And also metaphorically. It's
Mm.
very much, but it does look kind of brutal with the ruler of the nation being Mars with Lilith in Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like now all the masks are off and the means is anything you can get your hands on kind of vibe on the shadow side of things.
There's always a deep shadow.
That shadow is sort of like all the bets are off
Hmm.
on both sides.
Yeah, I would say like Aries full moon, it's always good to find a way to work out energy. Like
Mm.
go for a run, go dancing, like do something constructive that like helps you release fire from your body, especially with the Scorpio stuff happening. Um, and
Yeah.
yeah, like I don't know, that's the part about being aware of the shadow is so important because then we get to consciously work with it.
Yeah.
Like the potential for deep triggering, um, like
Yeah.
trauma resurfacing, all of that is there. So
Yeah.
know what helps you manage your triggers
Yeah.
and make a date with the gym or like a dance class or,
Yeah.
with your friend, like just to
Mm-hmm.
like
Mhm.
create safety. Um, I
Mm.
think, it is important to prioritize that during these times.
Yeah. And like Mariana mentioned it also, and you saying it right now, Casey, like about intimacy, what Mariana said, and what you're saying about like the body releasing the energy through moving
Mm-hmm.
your body, I think is very important because Mars, when it's been triggered with trauma or triggered with something that happened in the past, the anger comes in
Mm-hmm.
and hit your body. So it's very good to be able to move, to go for a walk, to do something. And the intimacy part of it is more about being able to feel vulnerable. It's going to be a big part of it, and being able to share that vulnerability without being judged, because what come up with anger and rage is usually what trigger with something that happened to you, something that you felt vulnerable, hurt, humiliated, something that really burned you down. And so we cover it with anger. Anger is our way of fighting. But the real deep healing that you can do with Scorpio, the sign of Scorpio, is deeply being intimate with your vulnerability, and
Mm-hmm.
be able to. North Node is still in Pisces, crying,
Mm-hmm.
compassion, forgiveness. There's a whole part of it that is very interesting, but it's a long way to get to it in that full moon. It's like the first hit, it's really brutal, and then you have to work your path towards that vulnerability. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, so it's
intense time. I feel like the part one was intense, but this one, I'm like, oh no, we're not finished yet. Like, it's
of
like,
course, here we
God.
are. I mean, these are really, really, it's been fascinating to be doing this podcast for, I mean, 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But just like tracking this time and witnessing the astrology and being able to kind of work through it in this way is really fascinating. And I would
Mm-hmm.
say, I don't know, the thing that I feel supported by with this kind of like astrology and this type of reflective practice um, is that we get to open more potential in the present moment. We see the shadow, we see what can be triggering, like we see and acknowledge
Mm-hmm.
what tools might be supportive in the moment based on what's going on. And so um, I've, have found myself being anxious about the astrology in recent years.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also important to know that like there's healing potential here too. So don't lose
Yeah.
sight of that, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The only reason we do this is because so you don't arrive at the moment of the full moon in Aries with Mars in Scorpio
Yeah.
blindsided.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Totally.
all, it gotta serve the purpose, and the purpose is finding, and it's preparation. Astrology is always, it's either sort of preparing and grounding and cooling yourself down, or integrating
Mm-hmm.
afterwards.
Yeah.
It's never like in the moment when you arrive at a difficult lunation or transit. uh, yeah, you just gotta be prepared the best you can.
Mm-hmm. And the week after is from the last week of this Libra season, from October 13th to October 22nd. I know it's not all pink and great, but I feel like there's a I know, I'm aware, but I feel a little bit more like release with the entering right at the beginning on October 13th, at the beginning of the week, the Venus entering Libra.
Yes.
There's something very good about it. I feel
Yes.
like a peace a little bit in chaos, a moment of like, oh, you know, and Venus belonged to Libra. Venus loved being in Libra, of course. That kind of an answer of wish for deeper connection and deeper meaning in how we connect to each other, and enjoying the company of others through this time. And I like it. I liked it. And that week too, we have a new moon that we're going to talk about in Libra. But I just feel the entrance of this week feels like having
When
you know how to
Venus gets
breathe.
out of Virgo, I think we're all
Yes,
gonna have a little
like
bit
a
of
little,
a easier time.
yeah,
But
Mm-hmm.
I agree, but I think it's interesting because it makes all those
Trine.
aspects
Mm-hmm.
to the outer planets right as it enters Libra. And
exactly.
so it's like, oh, Venus is at home and now we get to process the collective energy, maybe from a more like maybe
Cool.
grounded, yeah, or just like more resourced place, I want to say.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Um, Maybe we'll be more like aligned in how we're processing things, or it'll feel easier, which is
mm-hmm.
something. But it will be interesting. It's like, okay, now we have a new opportunity to meet these planets in Libra, with
Yeah.
like a new tool, right?
And
Venus.
also that week, which is very interesting, on the same day that Venus enters Libra and is going to start to do all this discussion with all the outer planet, there's Pluto um,
Mhm.
stationing direct in Aquarius at 1 degree. It's like kind of a shift in a collectively that is like we're gonna process what happened the past month and see,
Mhm.
okay, how, like, there's a pause here, very focused on Pluto's energy too. um that I wonder, I know Pluto retrograde most of the time in the year, half of the year, and it's something that's happening often, but because it's at 1 degree, there's so many outer planet at 1 degrees right now. There's
And so much has happened since Pluto entered Aquarius. I think
it's
it's like,
it's
it's
crazy.
almost like, let's just take a beat and
Yeah,
notice what has
If
shifted,
you
like what
think
Pluto has
about it,
done.
wild.
we are in the current of it all, but if you stop and think, with AI, with wars,
Mm-hmm.
with redistribution of wealth,
Mm-hmm.
with technological stuff, with surveillance,
The
just
economy.
up, like, it's insane. We almost like live in a different world within
Yeah.
just few years, different world with different awareness of what's happening and how dirty we're being done and have been
Mm-hmm.
done, and not knowing what to do about it. It's insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really wild. Yeah, I just want to direct people, like if you're watching the video content here, you can see Venus and Libra and making these trines to Pluto
And
and
a position to
Uranus
Neptune.
and opposition to
Mm.
Neptune.
So
So yeah.
we have this two sextiles and one
Mm-hmm.
opposition, which that aspect is called kite,
Mm-hmm.
with the head of a kite being Venus, so Venus pulling the whole configuration, right? And the tension is between the illusion of desires. The tension is
Mm-hmm.
between Venus and Neptune. It's the tension of uh, how clear are you on what you desire, and
Mm-hmm.
how prepared are you, if your desires are clear, to receive them at some point,
Mm-hmm.
and what needs to be done for that. And there is like, it's almost like you need to hone on your values here. You really need to, like, there is an opportunity to crystallize the direction which you take in many years ahead with the outer planet aspects,
Mm-hmm.
and to kind of like balance out the illusions versus reality. It's very much about the quality of this
Exactly.
kite is your ability to see through your own bullshit.
Exactly. And he's like really strong with that Venus opposition to Neptune days after that Venus, just a day or two after that Venus enters Libra, that pulling between like idolizing or illusion versus reality is like
Mm-hmm.
very strong, and how boundaries are very blurry at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Venus opposing Neptune,
Yes.
boundaries between spiritual boundaries, but also physical boundaries, mental boundaries are
This is like a
very,
good time to up your protection. magic,
Ooh, yeah.
you know?
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
And I would say at the beginning of Libra season, equinox, like at the equinox, reset your protections in your home. If that's something you practice, like schedule some routine cleansing, like
Mhm.
really do some work in terms of the way that you're fortifying your energetic boundaries throughout Libra season, because they will be tested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like practicing grounding technique.
Mm-hmm.
And this is great for channeling like romantic or creative energy into arts, writing,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
visualization. That is
Which is a great form of protection magic in my
exactly,
estimation. Yeah.
exactly.
So
But seeking clarity before committing to anything during that time is a good advice.
That's the thing. The Libra house in your chart carries clarity. It's the
Hmm.
Aries part of your chart that doesn't. So the astrology gives us all the kind of answers. You can be kind of clear with Venus in domicile in Libra that where that the relationship within that house where you have Libra have some potential, and they are the ones that will pull you out of illusions. The relationships will pull you out of it. The
Hmm.
illusion is your ability to stand on your own.
Hmm.
mm,
The illusion is the grandiose vision about what you're capable of on your own,
Hmm.
alone. Not much.
I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that feels very real.
Yeah.
And then there is this, after that, Venus is doing all
Mm-hmm.
these things with all the other planets. We have on October 20th a new moon at 28. So at the end of the sign of Libra, um, which is governed, is a Venus, of course, sign. So this new moon is ruled by Venus. So we still have an emphasis on Venus topics. So this week is very Venusian in many ways. And I mean, it's it's at 9 degrees, is not creating any hard or good aspect to any planet directly, like close aspect. But it's good that it's in Libra. We like that it's in Libra because that really pushes for partnership, pushes to compromise, pushes to find harmony between two opposites, and I just like that, and to find beauty in everything you seek. I think beauty, it's very important with Venus in Libra, and finding pleasure through beauty and surrounding yourself with beauty. It's also really good during that time. We know new moon in Libra is like talk about love. Sometimes we talk about relationship and all of that, and it's a big part of it, of course. But there's also love with your parents, with your friends, with your community, with who you relate to. Very important to nourish that part too.
I think this is a great new moon for spell work. Like,
Oh yeah,
excellent.
love magic
Especially
here.
because we also have Mars and Mercury conjunct in Scorpio. And so
Hmm.
there's just like, not only do we have Venus with Libra and the new moon, um, that's infusing it with like this pleasure, beauty, ideal, values, clarity, but then
Hmm.
your willpower and the way you get to express that, your
Hmm.
Mars and Mercury are both in Scorpio with this great depth and like clarity of desire.
Hmm.
So I do see it being a really great time for setting intentions. And like Mariana was saying, it's, the clarity is in the sign of Libra. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
this new moon, like the intentions you're seeding, are about collectivity, relationship, community.
Yeah. Ability to negotiate fair deals. That's a
There we
big
go.
one for me personally. When I talk about when we talk about Libra, Libra is about relationship, but it also about it's a sign of law and it's about agreements, marriage. It's
Mhm.
all how you deal the deals. You
Like
know,
the union part.
exactly. It's like something
Yeah.
like that. But it's like, how can you negotiate the deal for you and the other party that feels fair,
Yeah.
whatever the deal is, right? And here this new moon squares Jupiter in Cancer, so there might be sort of like, but how can we? When it's a good new moon, like this square to Jupiter is not negative because it's benefic and the ruler of the new moon is benefic, but it's like over promising or like having unrealistic expectations about what you can get out of these dealings, or like being asked for more than you're capable of giving, but saying, okay, I'll give it to you. It's just something like that. Yeah.
I can totally see that. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see.
It's funny. I pulled the Four of Swords for this new moon.
Rest, girl.
Yeah.
Everyone shut up and go sleep.
But also like realignment, you
Yeah.
know, like you
Yeah.
need in order, like the rest that's required through the Four of Swords is like actually just like getting clear on what it is you're fighting for or what it is you value, you know? So
Yeah.
I do think this is an opportunity to like get into that values place, that Libran of like, okay, if this is my sense of justice, how am I acting in ways that allow that sense of justice to be expressed?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And how am I fighting for justice in ways that feel aligned with like my relationships and my life, my practical life, so that I'm not over compromising in the ways that Mariana was talking about.
Yeah, and Libra is also a man-made thing of value. What are you making that is of value? What are you producing in terms of value-centered art, creativity, I don't know, writing or agreements or contracts that is just like steeped in your values, in man-made values? Everything that you do during this time, and especially 2 weeks following this new moon, you have to measure it against the highest human or your personal human understanding of ethics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ethics is a big part for me in Libra like season.
Yeah,
Your
ethics.
Yeah.
Yeah, Libra is very much about ethics and a good conduct,
Yeah.
fair conduct kind of thing.
And then just like a couple of days later, let's get back. Saturn is in Pisces now. Neptune is going to Pisces. So it's like let's redo it. Let's go back to those.
We did not understand something. We didn't fully understand
Yeah.
something there, so it's back there.
It's like we'll go over there like and just swim again in the water of illusion, dreams.
But here it's like less forgiven illusions and less
Yeah.
forgiven.
He learned something in Aries and he's going back to
Oh
Pisces.
yeah, it's so. I already see what has, for me personally, because I do have stuff around that crossing Libra Aries. I mean Pisces Aries. It's this ingress of Saturn and Neptune in Aries has been essential to close out the Saturn and Neptune in Pisces.
Yeah.
I don't think without this ingress that we had a chance to grasp the Neptune, Saturn, and Pisces.
There's something for me about, you know, Aries as like the warrior, Neptune in Aries, like the spiritual warrior, and Neptune in Pisces being like the martyr. That I think is like a really interesting narrative that I'm thinking about in this moment of just like, we've actually needed to sort of like take back our agency or reclaim our power in some way, like reconnect with our ego in order to help us pull ourselves out of like victimhood.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's so well put. That's so well put. Because like that's the thing. If you do not pull yourself out of the victimhood that is easily available in the Piscean domain, you will be a sacrificial lamb in the Aryan domain. you won't be a worry. You won't rise into one. You'll just pass. You'll repackage that into, I'll fight for something that where I know I'll lose and I'll be sacrificed in the process.
I say yes, yes, yes to both of us when you were talking, Casey. I was like, yes, exactly. And then Mariana, yes, exactly. You just like frame like exactly what it is. And I just bless your heart, guys. You like did like you found that like it was so on point, both of you. I was just like, oh my God. So good.
Do we know when Neptune goes back into Aries?
In February, I believe. I don't actually. I do.
We
I
should
might
look right now.
I might have it here in my. Yeah, on January 26th of 2026, Neptune re-enters Aries.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
January 26th.
Yeah.
So we wrap up this year kind of like doing this work. Really important. And
Yeah.
you know, I think these, you know, the transits like will be pulled through and support us in integrating all of this. So
I think this is such an important period, Libra season, and the next like few months in terms of what we just spoken about. Like my astrology teacher, who is from Ukraine, by the way, always says, she says, in Pisces, there are two fishes, one who swims with the current, and I think I've said this before, and one that swims against the current. The one swims with the current is a rotten fish. You gotta swim against it. This is the number one that she says like all the time. She's like, and this, you gotta be a fish that swims against the current.
Damn. Like, which fish I am right now? Which fish I am right now? Yeah.
That's a good question.
And it's like the whole thing, like trust the universe. Yes, but you gotta be Jupiterian. Jupiterian is not rotten.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think it's so interesting. We're gonna see so much shifting. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the sun will enter Scorpio on the 22nd on
my
that same day.
season,
So
my favorite
get ready.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm ready for the sun in Scorpio, to be honest. I'm ready.
I just got like all my children's Halloween books ready and out. We already started. Because it's September.
I have no idea why, but I'm keep thinking of Samhain and all the things that I'm gonna do. I'm just obsessing right now. And I'm like, what is happening with me? I'm never obsessed like this. But I guess I need it for my spiritual, emotional support. That is very helpful, you know, supportive in a weird way. Yeah.
It is. It's like all, you know, the veil is thin. But maybe we'll close out this episode just asking you both, what do you sort of like hoping, or what's an intention you're working with this equinox season?
Damn. I was like,
yeah, Casey, thank you for putting on the spot.
You're like, do you want to give you my full list, Casey? Like, you know,
maybe just a one.
I'll start. I will say, right, I haven't even thought about it, so I'm gonna be like right now on the spot thinking what is essential. If I have to mentally, because it's not coming from my body right now, it's coming from my mental landscape. From my mental landscape, it would be a desire to hone on the partnerships that I dream about having, not romantic, but professional, comrade-like. How, and like not being because like I viscerally feel a fear of connecting honestly with Saturn in Aries and Neptune in Aries has done so. This equinox, it feels to me an overcoming of fear of connecting into building something worthwhile. The connection seems so important. Connecting part. Yeah.
I like that. But we are your bestie here. Like, we are.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
We are here.
And it's like the thing is like I'm sure we all have this sort of there's a world I want to build. Small,
Mm,
big, medium, whatever world, personal, family, I don't know, whatever it is you're building,
mm,
marriage. And it's just there, we all, I at least, do have an internal vision for that. How supportive it is, how non-hierarchical it is,
mhm,
how spread out like a system it is. I don't have a guts or I have a fear of going there. It's very strong fear that I have. But I think this Libra season is where it has to kind of like let go.
mhm.
Nice. That's a good intention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. For me, it's more about okay, Libra season is always scare me, and I hate when this thing on Libra. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be bold, but it's always triggering my relationship with my husband. It's in my seventh house, and all the time, no matter what's going to Libra, there's something happening with my husband. So I'm like, and of course, Libra season resonate with our anniversary. So he's like, ah, I hope he
You
prepares
you
some
you got
kind.
married during Libra season?
I got married
Oh
during
God.
Libra season.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, I didn't even do it on purpose. It was just I came as a visa fiance. I needed to get married in 90 days. So it was not like something I planned out, you know? And we obviously knew each other before for 4 years. We were dating. So it was just like, but anyway, it's more about equilibrium between my work in astrology and the social work I want to do outside, to be honest, with even if I focus on my relationship, I have time to build with my family. It's like really much how much I want to give to astrological work because I cannot give up that work. I love that work. I love speaking with you too. I love doing my readings and stuff like this. But I also love so much political work and
Mhm.
social work, and is how I can be in the world doing that type of world and at the same time doing 20% or 30% of astrology that can feed my spirituality and my soul in a way,
Mm.
and keep doing that work, having the capacity because I have a family, I have babies, I have a husband. Like you have to
Mhm.
nourish this relationship and it's important. And it feels like right now it's like three topics that are like has to intertwine and kind of find their own balance. And it is
Mm-hmm.
tough. It is tough. It is tough. It's like, where am I giving less time? Where I'm giving too much time? Where.
Mm.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah, that is a good
it
one.
feels clear,
It
though
Yeah.
feels clear. It's like I'm
it
clear
feels
about
clear, though it's
what. Yeah.
like maybe unbalanced at the moment, but it does have a clear direction.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's good. What about you, Casey?
I think I think my Aquarius moon. I feel
Same, out Libra
that
moon. I'm like, it's coming from my brain, just letting you know.
I love your Aquarius moon, Casey.
oh thanks. It's kind of a pain in my butt sometimes, but yeah, no, I think similar to Karima, I think there's a way that Libra season and the equinox for me puts things into focus of like, where am I hyper compartmentalizing things? And where do I wish that like things were more integrated? So, integrating my art practice more into the work I'm doing. And finding and cultivating the systems that like support and nourish me rather than keep me sort of running from one thing to the next thing, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So calling in more ease, calling in more creativity and flow when I can. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's beautiful. Something just jumped into my head
Mhm.
intuitively as you were speaking. I'll share it. It might be completely off, but for some reason, I was like, Casey's gonna write children's book.
Oh, I would love to,
That
Mariana.
would be amazing. I would love
I don't
seeing
know,
you.
and for some reason, the theme was kind of like spooky,
Yeah. Yeah.
Halloween.
I love
Like,
that.
have you ever thought about writing children's book?
Yeah, I am writing a children's book.
Are you?
I am.
I love that shit. Sorry.
I had no idea.
She
And it
really
was
didn't.
I didn't know either. I didn't know that
I
she was
didn't
writing
know.
a sister book.
Neptune on my.
You're
Damn,
right.
I was like,
mediumship,
you're
right
speaking,
on.
and I'm like, she should write children's book.
It's so funny. I'm right. It's not spooky. Maybe some people would think it's spooky.
Yeah,
But
because I
maybe I
love
was
those.
reading getting all these like Halloween children's books from the library and stuff and be like, oh, maybe I should write a spooky one. These were so good.
Oh my God, you would be so
Love spooky
perfect.
children's books.
Yeah,
Love
I
spooky
was like,
children.
They're
I
so
think you would be
fun.
really
I
good.
can see
Thanks.
already.
Let's see.
I'm having this Neptune vision of
Sorry if I'm
Casey.
like,
This is great. I'm having a little session.
Yeah, and I'm having this vision of Casey writing like a serious book that works so well with your witchy like girl for like witchy
We'll
spooky
see.
kids. I can see
I
that.
think Libra season hopefully is like more
Libra
art time, more
season,
time to do these
it's
projects.
art time. Libra
Yeah.
season,
Arch time,
I
yeah.
hate that it's like always like, or just it is like relationship and romantic, but it is what can you make as a human that is beautiful.
I love that. I think that's South Node Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that's something that I'm really focusing
Drawn.
on.
What
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
you,
You've
yeah.
been always very creative. You create tarots, you create an oracle. You were always into the arts
Mm-hmm.
of
Yeah.
creation. Yeah.
Be visionary. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll
So
see. I'll
yeah,
let you
it's
all know when
beautiful.
my children's book is coming to everyone.
No, I honestly
And also, yeah, I
think
would love to see
it's pretty,
that.
or like even build it as a series, because
Mm.
That's what I
you're
was thinking. I was like, series. I can see the story, something. I can see like a.
fixed sign,
I can
gotta
see
do something
Casey.
that has a long-term thing to it.
Preach
Mm.
community, preach accepting the others, preach a
Well,
lot of values in that book.
I know I've who my editors are going to be right here. So.
Here we go.
Well,
Okay.
guys, I hope all our intentions will be manifested to the highest
Yes.
I
potential.
hope so too.
And share your intentions in the comments. We want to hear yours too.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Thank you for listening, guys, and thank you too.
Thank
For
you.
Thank you
Yeah.
both. Oh my gosh,
Yes.
this has been so great.
Yes.
All
Happy
right.
Libra
Happy Libra
season.
Happy Libra season.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for tuning in to the Modern Witches podcast. We hope you've been inspired to cultivate your own magic and to craft your own spiritual practices. Let us know what sparked your curiosity by leaving us a comment on this episode or leave us a review. And don't forget to subscribe to the show so that you never miss an episode. Your feedback and engagement truly fills our cups. If you're looking for more ways to gather with your fellow witches, please support our work on Patreon. Learn more at modernwitches.org. Blessed be.